Hello, everybody. This is Padma Priyadarshini, founder of Yoga Tattva. So, I'm very glad today we are here for a very interesting session about investors and how we are going towards improving ourselves on crafting the pitching and building relationship with us. Before we go into it, I would like to uh, initiate this on behalf of Visionary Women's Circle, which is a pan India community that we have started with visionary women who had a great vision to move forward in their organization and in their founding enterprises that they wanted to take to the next level. So, taking forward to this, we have awesome panelists that who are going to participate in this forum, and we are very glad to introduce each one of them because the whole set of panelists that we have today are from a very creative and very innovative space on stream of enterprise that they are a part of. So, starting off with, we are going to go with Reshmi Mandala. She's an architect, founder at R&T Design, and IGBC AP member. Plus, she's also a BNI proud member. She is from Faridabad, and very glad to invite her to this panel. Hi, Rashmi.
Hi, thank you so much for the wonderful introduction.
And
So,
uh, please go ahead with a short introduction of yourself, about you, and what you do.
so my company name is R&D Designs, based in Faridabad, and we are into the all varieties and varied fields of architecture and interior design, ranging from residential to commercial to hospitality and all the sectors, pan India. And if we got an opportunity all over the world, we can go globally. And we started the firm around 4 years back, but still, I have the 17 years of experience in this field. So, what our vision is to make such projects which give us not only more clients but also to build trust within the clients so that we get more opportunities to go. So that's it.
Thank
Thank
you. Thank
you.
you. Glad to know about you. Next, we would like to invite Rashmi Kopram, and she's a creative founder of jewelry design. I would like to know a little more about you, Rashmi.
Good evening, everyone. I am Rashmi Kopram, founder of Jewelry Experience Academy. So basically, I have two verticals. So one is the product of a jewelry, which is the fine jewelry. We are into gold, silver, and diamonds and colored gemstones. And at the same time, we have a other vertical, which is on a creative field and which is an education based. So that is where I come in as a Jewelry Experience Academy, where we teach. All the people who is past 12th grade can join for the manual designing or CAD designing or manufacturing. So we are well versed in the jewelry industry. I have like 15 plus experience in this line. So that is a short intro about me, and we are in Bangalore. Thank you.
Very
Thank you
nice,
for
very nice. Interesting as well to know about your academy and the different categories of jewels that you are into. Next would be Bhavna Shresha. She's a great content creator, and she's a founder of Button Than Button. So awesome to know about you a lot, and we are looking forward to hear a lot from you as well. And she's from Mumbai. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hi everyone. Priya said that I'm from Mumbai. My brand name is Button and Button. Well, it's a quirky name, and I think that works for us. We want to bring some more quirk and happiness in everybody's life through our apparels. Bring in a lot of love and compassion, and also work in the sustainable space. So Button and Button is a 2-year-old, startup, and we're building it each day, brick by brick, and we want to build a community which are very conscious about, saving planet and also promoting slow fashion and working with the artisans very, very closely. So that's our mission. Thank you for inviting me this evening.
Interesting, Bhavna. And next would be Rajanandini Venkataraman. She is a CEO and a co-founder of SWOMB, Technology and Services, and she's from Chennai. Looking forward to hear more about what is SWOMB.
Thank you, Padma. So SWMB is startups boom. So we made it
Oh,
shorter and we made it swarm. So we are basically deep tech software uh, developers. We have our proprietary AI tool which helps us build the software in shorter span. Like we
oh,
minimum viable product in 14 days and enterprise grade product in 45 days. And
Wow.
we closely work with startups where from their initial stages, from when they get registered as a company. So we handhold them uh, from uh, from the start, from where building and POC for them and everything. So we also support them in uh, throughout, where they can even take us to their we be their technology partners, and we support them during their funding process.
okay.
Wow.
Glad to know you. Glad to know you. And when we hear about AI, it's really interesting. Now it is the era of AI, and when you're going to support the startups, nothing like that. We will be able to bloom like anything. Faster the solutions, easier to adapt. So. So the whole forum is a lot of ladies, and I see each of them are so very creative in their space. So that's what actually brings that idea of joining together and taking this panel. And I'm looking forward to know more about your knowledge and thought, how we are going forward. To start off with, we are going to start off with how uh, an elevator pitch or how crafting a pitch for an investor is very important. So nowadays, if we see any entrepreneur who is coming up or is entering into a startup mode, and especially when it comes to a women's circle, it is very important we educate and share the experience. What are the steps that we have gone through in this space and how we have approached it. And people are like, this panel discussion doesn't happen very easy, right? So it's a very important discussion, and people who are really serious about their growth, they are going to open their ears and listen to the experience, how we faced it and how we have moved on forward. So the first thing I wanted to start with is, so what are the necessary or the essential elements of a successful investor pitch that we can do? And how do entrepreneurs effectively do this pitching to convey to the appropriate investors or give the idea right to the investor that this is what they are looking for? So what is your insight to start off with? So Rashmi, you can start off with Rashmi Mandala.
Mandal. Okay. So actually, for us, the investors are basically our clients only, because we are consultants. So what we need is a correct pitch for our project, which we are, looking forward to, and the business idea should be very compelling. And before that, before pitch, we need to know our clients very well. Every individual has their own thought process. Every individual has their own ideas when they come up with. So it's very important to know what is their thought process, and the project for which we are pitching, it's very important to do the case study as well. So the area where we are pitching, the kind of project which is being talked about, so the complete homework has to be done before the pitching goes to. And also how our knowledge in the previous business and previous work adds value to the upcoming project becomes very important. So the combination of all these things is very important when we are pitching to our investors, or say our client, or the audience which we have. So this is the major point which we need to take care of, because ours is a project based industry, and the clients and our projects are the main concern which we need to, rather than financial investments.
So, Rajanandini, what is your idea about conveying the right idea to the investors? So,
Yeah. So first we have to make sure we solve the problem. So, talking about venture capitalists or individual investors, today there are a lot of angel investors, and uh, there are many individual investors who are interested in investing in startups because they see it as a passive income or something like that, another stream of. So, we have to make sure we give a solution to a problem, and the solution should be unique. We have to present it in such a way that it interests them. We have to make sure we give evidence of traction, like if it is in initial stages where we can show them our whether there are if it is a subscription model, we can show them whether there is a pre-order. Those are all tractions that we can show evidence of the market demand. So that is something that we have to keep in mind. And also, the solution should be compelling. It should attract them. It should have a story. It should have emotion. And um, most importantly, you should not avoid mentioning the risk involved, so that you can tell them that yes, we have thought of it and we'll be able to mitigate. That is something that we have to mention in the initial stages, so that the investor understands that we see both pros and cons, and we are dedicated to our idea. So that is very
Understood.
important.
Understood. What's your thought, Rashmi? Rashmi Kopran?
Oh, yeah. The first and foremost, I think better to understand the investor. So whoever is the investor, we need to have a background about that investor, whether what is his preferences or the priority, or what is he or she is looking, right? What is the investor looking at, and we need to pitch accordingly. So that is the most criteria or the important thing in the business pitching is what I always follow. And the second highlight is I am very transparent. So we need to be very transparent to the investors so that they have the clarity of how this business works. So it also builds up the authenticity. So they always trust us, like, okay, we are very clear about what is going to happen and what are the concerns or what are the risks that this business has. So that helps them to um, or focus, or that also helps them to create the interest, like, okay, is this business where I can invest in. So that is what it is. And the other important thing is how powerfully you can show your presentation or the pitching. So you always include like maybe a very beautiful customer feedback or maybe a testimonial.
Okay, Rashmi, I think your internet is a little unstable. So let me go to Bhavna. Bhavna, what is your thought on that?
Okay, I am like, hello, can you hear me, guys?
Yes, yes, Bhavna, you are very clear.
Okay, so like I said, we are at a nascent stage. It's a completely a bootstrap brand which I'm working on, but there is a possibility, and also we are looking at a possibility of expansion and collaboration and funding. What I understand is I really liked, one of the panelists said that, honesty and transparency is something which is very important. So when you're pitching to an investor, it definitely needs a structured, presentation or a pitch. Definitely, it should have a market view. It should have a research on why would you want it, and what is in return which you are going to give into the investor. But like I said, it has to be more structured. But apart from the structure, I think your passion, emotion, and your vision is something of prime importance, because when you are an entrepreneur, and you are especially a women entrepreneur, because that I like in brackets women entrepreneur, it needs to show we are very passionate, emotional, compassionate, but we also need to be strategic. So I feel a combination of that, and unfortunately we have never taken that we can be strategists. So I think that is a very important aspect which needs to be conveyed in your pitch. that you are not just coming with an emotion, but you're also coming with a business plan and a vision to it, and a proposal which is very well structured and completely watertight. I think these are the core areas which needs to be kind of looked into when we are pitching into any investors, whether it's institutions or angel investors. That's my thinking, because when you're backed with all the statistics, it just makes it that your understanding and your approach is very very not only professional but very thought through, and that's very important, I think, for any pitch to be done to anybody.
How beautifully explained.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhavna. So, the one key thing when I saw about how we have to come up with the investor pitch, or how we have to craft the investor pitch, is the first thing is you need to be very transparent to them, and you have to emotionally connect to your business, what you're doing, and show out the passion and fire that you have about your vision and how you're going to move forward. That helps us to keep the thought process that this person is going to elevate themselves, and as I invest into this concern or into this person's ideation, we are going to go more. So that is the interest that we kind of show, and our elevation pitch, or the when we craft a pitch, it should show the interest, or it should mirror out what is our thought to the investor. So it becomes very
Absolutely.
important. So it is. I'm very curious to go deep into it, into our sessions. Okay. More than that, I would like to ask any one of you, if you have what is your thought on now, or how a pitch has to be, an example of how a pitch has to be, which has secure funding for you, and memorable incidents that you can share. Any one of you can just do that.
I think Rajanandani should do that. She's been helping so many startups, so why not?
Thank
Yeah.
you, Bhavna. So, like, I would like to talk about our incubation pitch, which we did. Like, we were actually allotted 1 hour time, but unfortunately, 45 minutes had already gone, and only after that we were allowed in because there were other companies pitching. So we had only 15 minutes. So I was like, it. I thought, I mean, they had given 10 minutes for presentation and 5 minutes for Q&A, but unfortunately, since there was only 15 minutes left, so they wanted to make it to 7 minutes, where like
Wow.
4 minutes of presentation and 3 minutes of Q&A. Like your pitch should you should prepare in three different narratives where you can pitch the same presentation in 2 minutes as well as 20 minutes. So we did the pitch in 2 minutes, and there was only two questions asked, and we got incubated.
Wow.
Okay, so it's
That's
like you
amazing.
have to have different narratives with the same thing, and especially there are some basic things that we have to do to our pitch. The first thing, please number your slides.
Yeah.
That's very important. We think it's very basic and we skip it, but actually that is very important. Have headers, put some graphical, visual presentations, graphs, and be very your financial projection, it should be realistic.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. Very
These are
nice.
the
Yeah.
few things, basic things that we have to prepare.
Yeah.
Very.
I love the numbering thing. That's very, I'll hold on to that. That's really interesting. How does it help? I'm very curious.
No,
Sorry,
because when going,
I'm jumping from Padma's questions being the host, but I just want to know.
yeah, sure, Bana. The thing is, like when we go through the slides, each slide will be of different. Like one will be problem statement, another will be solution, and how you're going to take it forward, market strategy, all that will be there. It is difficult for anyone who is just looking at for the first time to understand where you have mentioned what. And investors, not everyone will question you in between. Most of them will wait for you to finish the presentation and then question. So it is easy for them to number the page, make note of it, and clarify if they have anything to ask.
Yeah.
Maybe
Love
our slide number 3, you had mentioned some 5,078. What does it represent? It is easy for them to mention like that and ask. And since you are well prepared and you know what is in your presentation, it will be easy for you to answer them.
Absolutely. Lovely.
Very nice.
That's,
It's a very interesting tip. And whoever is
yes.
watching this live, please note it down because these are the practical issues that we had faced, learned,
Yes.
executed it. Okay. So very nice, Rajanandini, and thanks for sharing it to us. So the other one is in generally, how do we tailor, because investors are not the same type of people we are going to see. There will be different types of investors. How do we do the pitching to different types of investors, and what are the strategic or the capitative investors that they will be interested into, and how we can help in doing a appropriate pitching for them? Any thought process, Bhavana? What is your idea?
Well, I feel yes. See, basic any investor, the first thing comes is the numbers. They're very interested in numbers, because that's where. But there are certain investors I have come across who also look at the your passion and your interest and your your own confidence about how about your own project. So the first thing, like I said, it goes hand in hand. One is definitely the numbers, and the other is what is your intention behind it. So the intention and the long, the marathon, what you want to do, the marathon journey of the business is something of prime importance. So we need this to be as the core of a pitch. These are two wheels of the same car, and they need to go hand in hand, because then only the car is going to run on the road. So I feel yes, numbers will definitely, and numbers may fluctuate depending. There are so many parameters to all of it. But I think if the intention and your vision is very clear, how you're seeing your business 5 years from now, 10 years from now, if this homework is with you, I think that really is very integral to any startup. I'm sure Rajanandini would second it, because she's been into it. Because that's very important. It's like the two, the husband and wife making a home. So it's very important to make that. Is what is my thought to it.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Rashmi?
I would,
Yes.
yeah. So, well, as Bhavna said, that the numbers and intentions is very important. I think it be any field, this is very important because anybody is investing their money. But since being in creative field, say Bhavna or Rashmi, we when we get the clients, we all have different type of client. Maybe probably we'll have one thought process, but every client come with their own mentality. So when we talk about different investors, we have to look about what they need, and then we have to fit in our creativity with respect to their budget and the numbers, taking their intention that as per their requirements. So if I take my example, if I have to make design residence for five different clients, for all five of the different people will have different intentions, different requirement, different family, different thought process. One might come with a different kind of design outlook, and somebody might come with a different outlook. So your pitch should be such that you make sure that you are perfectly compelling them, that what you are giving them is the perfect solution of what they need. Probably it would be quite similar in the different creative field as well, because as per the client need, it becomes very important. So that's why you need to do a proper case study of who the client are and what kind of requirement they are looking for. So I think this becomes very important when we are looking for different type of investors in the market.
I agree completely. The R&D is very important.
When we are speaking about the R&D, any entrepreneur, okay, who's going to work on his startup or something, validating the market demand is very important. Okay, so while doing that and while presenting him or herself to the investor, how one has to validate the market and present it to the investor and handle the objections that they have, like what is the competitive advantage that we have, what are the scalability that we can take it up, and what are the potential risks, and how to curate all of this in your pitch, and how we will be able to do that. So your experience on that would actually help people to become more efficient while they do the pitching. So maybe we'll start from Rashmi Kopra.
Yeah. In our industry, especially the jewelry, right? So everybody, the first thing it comes is like a gold. So everybody is aware of like what is the gold price and all that. So market research becomes very, very important and crucial. So we need to understand what is the need, or what is the demand from the target market. So that is very important for us to understand the research about the market. So that is very crucial for me. And so the next thing would be making a prototype, or do a some kind of a prototype which can you can showcase to the investor, like, so what is that we are giving, or what is that we are offering, and why is that something different from the what you see in the regular market. So you always have to showcase that why you are best. So if you have to showcase the best, then you have to do the homework of market research. So that is how it gives the help of showing an investors in that. So how do I do that is I need to do a pilot program, or get the feedbacks from the customers, do a small kind of a prototype to the customers, and then get the feedback. So this is what I would do. And the second thing is the competition. So you know that the competition is very heavy. And so how do you understand? So we need to understand, so who are our competitors? That is the first thing we need to understand. Who are our competitors, and what are their strengths, and what are their weaknesses, and how we can fill the gaps. And I need to we need to understand what is the opportunities there in the market, and how we can fill that gap. So this strategy would help to understand the competition, and how we can be better than the competitors. And also the important thing is, so you need to have a USP where the competitors cannot enter into. Like I can say it is like a creating a barrier. So maybe it can be a technology development, or maybe a something unusual which not everybody can bring it onto the plate. So that kind of barriers we need to create. So these are the ones, and also we need to scale it accordingly. So with the team, and with the coming with the innovations. So as because my field is a creativity, so creativity, there is a never ending thing. So we need to upgrade and keep upgrading, and every day it's innovative things is what we have to bring into the picture. So that's where we have to focus and make this very presentable, and showing what you call how this problem is, and what is the solution, and giving a clear picture and all these details to the investor would definitely help the investor to what you call to invest in our business. So that is what we follow the strategies in our business.
Yeah,
Thank you so
Rashmi,
much.
when I was thinking about the question, the first thing I was thinking about you, because jewelry business has a huge competition and a huge creativity that actually takes them up, and you have to be unique in that business, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
where I could really see how much work that you have put your thought process into as you speak. Okay, so
Thank you so
yeah,
much.
and
And the major one more important thing is then I need to say is that jewelry, everybody knows what's the gold price. And before any client come to me, they would already gone to a 10 jewelers and understand what is the wastage and profitability and all that. So there is a standardization which the all jewelers follow. So in between, I need to squeeze in and understand that uniqueness. Yes, there is a lot of task. Thank you for understanding that, Priyadashini.
thanks for sharing that too. So when we speak about these strategies, we also spoke about the traction, right? How do we get the traction of the investor, and how we can convey that we will be able to achieve the milestones that we speak about, and what is the strategical path that we will take for that profitability. So these three things, how do you get the traction? How do we demonstrate that we are in the milestone of achieving what we are talking about, and giving them the clear path. Where do you think how an entrepreneur have to put their pitch to communicate this to an investor? Rashmi, you can take up this.
Yes. So yeah, so while we were talking about the initial question that when we talk about the validating the market and the competition in creative field, I think trust also becomes a very important point. So because there's so much of thing as we know, there are so many architects, there are so many jewelry designers, and there are so trust becomes very important. And once you are trusted, then I think you are able to tell your client that yes, that milestone could be achieved when you are able to convince them. And to demonstrate for my profession, if I talk about my industry, to demonstrate traction, I guess showcasing of every new project or whatever the completed project is the thing which I could do, which I can do, because as I always say, my project is my product, and my product takes years to complete. So building that trust, if I talk about with respect to time, it will take hell lot of time to get that trust with respect to the project completed. So when we are pitching about the project, so as Bhavna said, the passion, that passion, if you have that passion to show that how you can deliver it, how the process would be while you are while you are doing the design process with the client. So that trust, that confidence is one thing which eventually in the years while the project is being done will help you to achieve the milestone, and that confidence to the client that yes, you can achieve the milestone. And our every project is our profitability. So once with each and every project is our achievement, and that is what our profitability. So the trust becomes very important, then you build the confidence, and then you take that all to the track that how you're going to process it, whether it is a 5-day process or 5 years process. But yes, the client needs to be to have that patience and that confidence on you to so that you can achieve your milestone, and we get profit out of it.
Thank you, Rashmi. Rajnandni, what is your thought process when you say the we need to get the traction of an investor?
It is the traction about the business that we are showcasing to them, or the idea that we have. Initially, we'll have a prototype or a base thing that we have done. That is how only when we have that we can go and showcase it to them. So early traction, you can call it, or pre-orders, or the beta testing, the testimonials of all these. And because few places we do take subscription payments, or it will be a beta testing where it is just put into the market, taken feedback and iterated. So even those things, those testimonials are taken into consideration while the investor looks into the project. So that's one thing. And highlighting the milestones
Yeah.
that we have achieved, or the launches that we have in line, and
Yes.
major client acquisitions if we have already done, and what is the timeline that we have taken
Beautiful.
to make it happen. So these points uh, will definitely impress the investor if they are into this particular sector, because when we go meet investors, they are sector specific. Okay, when they are sector specific, they know about the sector.
Yeah.
So it is better we have evidence in our hand and go show them the numbers, the graphs, so they get impressed and they understand the groundwork that we have done. So that will
Yeah.
be definitely appreciated.
Yeah.
Very nicely created. And Bhavana, so when we are going to do this pitching, right? How we can communicate our strategical path to profitability? Maybe you can give us a little bit of thought on that.
So like taking it from Rajnandini, she just said that the strategy. So I'm saying when we are pitching it to an investor, we need to be very clear on our obviously the intention and the passion is one thing, but like Rashmi rightly said that it's all about numbers also is very important and the profitability. So I think we need to focus from short term goals to the long term goals. These two aspects need to be very clearly thought through and conveyed to the investors. Because if we are just talking about a 5 year plan, but what are we doing 5 months from now is very important. So, and also, like she said, that what we have achieved and what are our launches. These are two very important aspects. Testimonials, definitely, but I feel today testimonials do not have that much of value left with the Instagrams and all of this coming in. They're all being bought and all of it. So I feel, so there are different aspects to it. Word of mouth is definitely, it's the old work or the pattern which has been used, but I think it's very incredible and it's very potential even today, that your brand or your entity is completely by word of mouth. But it is a very slow process. With the internet and digital world coming in, we have bombarded the social media. But like I said, for the investment specifically, the short term goals, the long term goals, and obviously the larger structure as to where you see your brand or your entity, at a certain stage, is very important. Backing it with your storytelling, which is very important. Storytelling and the logistics, if they work in tandem with each other, I think then you have a fantastic pitch which is right out there, and it is very wholesome for any investor who is interested. Like Rajanandi very rightly said, that an investor who understands your business will come in. Somebody who's already come with the research, somebody who's already got his figures, somebody knows the background check. Because a jewelry investor will not get into probably architect and design, because that's not his area of work. Hence, first of all, it's very key for any entity or a startup to first identify the right investors and then pitch it to them, knowing that they're coming with their complete research or their own work towards it. And how we can, by our pitching, which is absolutely wholesomely planned, I think then there is no question that it doesn't work for a new startup. I think all we need is a combination of these things together, and we're bang on there then.
The right point of view, Bhavana,
Yeah.
as
So
usual.
yeah,
So,
I
uh,
would like to add something to Bhavna's point.
sure.
So like I second all our points, and I will also like to add that you have to mention your strategic alliances and partnerships.
yes,
So that is also important. So that also is a part of your milestone and your
yeah,
revenue generation.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Very nice. Uh, I'm so glad to have such a wonderful panelist today. I'm literally taking notes from what you guys are discussing. So now we are in the right moment to go a little more deeper, and we're going to speak about. And I hope everybody has an experience to answer this question. Okay, every time when we are put in front of an investor and we do the pitching, there is definitely going to be an objection questionnaire from any one of them, and how we have to handle it. And not only that, there is also about how they are going to give us a feedback and how we have to take the feedback. Yeah. So uh, let's start off with Rashmi Koram.
Kopram.
Kopram,
Yeah, Kopram. Yes. Yeah, Priyadarshini, it's a very important question, and I think we all face that all the time, because always the investors are ready to ask us like hundred of questions because they want to get the complete information out of us. So whenever a investor or anyone or a client asks a question, I think the first thing we follow is to be calm and listen. First, we need to listen to them carefully. So what is their concern? So why are they asking that? So we really need to be prepared. I feel that we need to be prepared beforehand, before pitching the any business. So you need to understand what are the kind of the objections, or maybe the feedbacks, or maybe the concerns they might have, and they will come back with those questions. So it is always better to follow like a preparation, like, okay, if this is what it comes, so what would be the answer? So that is a better way of preparation, and also aligning into your pitches. That is the one way. And whenever you answer it to the very calmly, so then you gain the investors confidence also. And whenever there is a question is raised, be confident, because see, you need to be very clear about your business, you need to be very clear about your vision and what you want to give. So when we have a clarity, I'm sure everybody will have that patience to answer that questions, because we need that investor, means we need to be clear and transparent. That is what I feel, Priyadarshini, right now.
Very nice, Rashmi. And uh, Rajnandini, anything that you wanted to
Yeah. Like Rashmi mentioned, first thing is to listen without interruption. Acknowledge their concerns even if you don't like it or it doesn't resonate with you. Acknowledge it and provide evidence if you have other thoughts.
got?
And
So,
it is the investors' duty to check our resilience.
Absolutely.
So we have to maintain our confidence level. The first thing that any startup or a person who's looking for funding is, it is your business. No one knows it better than you.
Yeah.
correct.
Your
Absolutely.
idea, your strategy, you have done the market research, you have found clients for yourself, right?
Yes.
Have that confidence and do and present it. Yes, we all of us will have that 1 second of jittery feeling because we are going to get funds. We shouldn't make any mistake. It's okay to make mistakes, but be confident in your idea because no one else knows it. Whatever you say is the business.
Yes.
Awesome,
So
Yes.
have
awesome.
that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Perfectly said. So, we have a comment and a questionnaire that is asked to the forum now. So, as a startup, how do you do market analysis and check about the competitors in the business? So, Deepthi has put up the question in the comment. Any idea you wanted to give about it? How do you
Can
do
you
the market
please repeat?
analysis?
How do you market
As a
analysis?
startup, how do you do the market analysis?
Okay. See, for example, if we take Rashmi Kopram's jewelry business, we know there's a jewelry shop in every street,
Yeah.
and there's lot of online stores now, right? Yes, if I am going to start a jewelry business, I will have to go, even if I don't purchase, I'll have to go and see what all designs they have, what is their pricing strategy, how are they reaching their clients, is it word of mouth, all that has to be done, and we have to make notes of, literally take notes,
Yeah.
because everything, you can't keep it in your mind. It's okay, it's like, and first standard student or second standard student, take notes, revisit it after a day, after you have taken notes, let sleep with it, the next day go see it. You will have a different perspective to what you saw the previous day.
Absolutely.
This literally happens in every field.
I'll add to that because in 2020, when the pandemic happened, that's when the whole idea, I mean, it was germinating back of my mind, but just putting it into perspectives started in 2020 to start my brand. I have researched for exactly 1.5 year why I want to do this, what is the reason to do it, what is the market, how I can be different from others. Because again, apparel business, exactly like jewelry, there is every street there is an apparel brand, and it's extremely competitive. I mean, jewelry still is a very conscious decision because you are making an investment, and it has it has a dividend, or it does have an asset to it. The apparels don't have any asset. They are just to be worn, be happy, and that's about it. So it's more consumerism. And why I want to do, and that why is of great importance, that why we want to take up this, and how, and obviously the market research. So when we, that research is something, and obviously I'm not saying you get research from Google's, because I must have in last 2 years of my business work, I have almost researched 2000 brands in India who are working in the sustainable place, and why they are there, how they are there, what is their journey. This is very, very crucial to any business. Any business, you're getting into. I'm sure Rashmi Mandal must also be going through. She's an architect. She's living in the most competitive North Indian territory of
City.
Faridabad. It's not easy. It's very cutthroat. And they would have fancy ideas when clients come to you. I'm like, Ragnandi very rightly said, you only know your business. You only know, what works for you. You know better than anybody else. But you have a tough competition outside. There is too much of rejection, and there is too much of resentment to women coming in and being confident. I'm not making it gender, but generally that's how the perception is. And from there
True.
to break through and to be successful is a huge, huge challenge. Hence, if your groundwork, like it's rightly said, कि नीचे जमीन पे नींव अच्छी बनी होगी तो इमारत बहुत beautiful खड़ी होगी. So that groundwork is something which is extremely crucial to any business. I think that's is the key to it. And if you have it right, then there's no stopping.
Yes. So
Wonderfully,
that's
wonderfully articulated. Yeah.
sorry, Varun. Yeah, so that's one thing I want to mention, because this software development is there everywhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah, anyone say they will do only the UI UX and they say they're software developers.
Yeah.
Yes, it happens. But where we found our forte was like we can do it in shorter span. We have our AI tool to do it. So that's where
Absolutely.
we. That is the difference that we have, and that's why clients, especially startups who want to
Yes.
increase their runway time, early to market access. So
Yeah.
that's where we play. So every business has its own market, and we have to tap into.
Yeah. I think the
Yes.
USP is very important to your
USP.
own
Yeah.
business.
Yes.
That's very important.
So
Yes.
in the commentary we have Deepal. So she feels even giving the investor the blueprint of his or her ROI would how would it help? Okay, so that is the comment she has put in it. You
Come
want
again.
to
What is it?
giving the investor the blueprint of his or her ROI.
Okay.
Not all, there's two ways we can look into it. Not
Yeah.
all investors go for money or the
Yeah.
ROIs.
Yeah.
They there are investors who look into the value of the company, their interest. It should align with them, not just for money.
Yeah.
So in the same sector, like there might be two investors in the same sector where one will be interested only in the profit and one will look for what it is doing to the community.
Yeah. And the larger vision to it. Yeah. I
Yes.
think that's very, and I think that is the key for any startup to is identify and, resonate and align with the right investor. I don't think so. There'll be plethora of investors in this space in the market.
Hmm.
It is we to decide who we want to go with, who resonates with us. It's very important.
Exactly.
Just getting money to the business is not the right investment. You need to get aligned with the vision, because once you have the vision aligned, the money is definitely going to come in. And I can tell you thousands of stories, which I have been, because this is something which is of my keen interest, that how newer startups or new entrepreneurs have aligned themselves with the right people, because that's very important to take your business to a longer run. Otherwise, these are short term gains where you'll make, you'll get, okay, 50 cr to 100 cr, but that's where it gets stopped. All we need is a momentum. So you need your investor to have to be a visionary with you aligned. That's very important.
As Bhavna rightly said, why they have to be aligned is they have industry expertise.
Yeah.
They have industry connections, which
Yes.
they will in turn help the business grow.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
we have to look into the alignment.
Yeah.
of vision and the goal.
What
It's
a
not just
thought through, what a thought through from to listen from you guys on this. It is actually a breaking point to understand how deep we have put our experience and brought our state of business to this level, and very proud to have this discussion at this point of time. And uh, we should also speak about certain mistakes that we are doing in the pitching deck, or when we pitch our thought process to any investor, and how entrepreneurs can mitigate these risks. So this is one idea that we need to think about. So Reshmi Mandar, what do you think about this? What are the mistakes we make, and how do we mitigate the risks that we face?
There are so many things in the market. Be you are in whatever industry, so you're catering to a particular client, and if you haven't done your homework properly, which as an architect I would say is very important. If you haven't done your homework properly, if you haven't done your research properly, you haven't done your case study properly, you are not going to go empty handed to the client, and which is why you might miss the opportunity for a new offer. you know so that is very important. When you have done the complete, whether you have an experience of that particular work or not, at that particular project or not, but do your case study. If that's not done, that might be a risk for you to miss the opportunity. Also, many times when we have been talking about different type of clients, we all, as Rajani said, that we know that what we do, we all are technically excellent in our own field. Okay, but probably if Rashmi starts explaining me a technicality of all the jewelry and all, I am not going to get anything. So we should be able to convey to the client in their language, what they understand. Your technicality should be, the language should be very clear. If you are too technical, they are not going to get it. So the language, the communication should be very clear. So this is where we should improve our pitch, to get the offer. And also, as we have been talking about the USPs, we are talking about our the work which we have done, what we have achieved. If you are not putting it on the table, then why you are there. So what is different with you? If you do not tell the client that why you, then you are not standing out in the market. So I think these few points we should take care when we are pitching. So these are probably, if we are not done these points are not taken up properly, probably we might miss out the points of getting a new offer.
I
So
want to add in here. Rashmi, what Rashmi Mandal says, yes. Uh, I think we believe in walk and talk, talk the walk. So that is what is very important. So what you say
It's
to the
important.
investors, you need to do that. So most of the entrepreneurs fail on that. So and also the time. So you give a set time like this. These kind of the challenges is done in a particular time, and when we fail on that, those are the mistakes which should be always has to be never done by the entrepreneur, so that you will have a long term relationship with the investors, which I would say. And this is what I wanted to add in there. Thank
Yeah.
you, Priyadarshini.
to add
so
to that, make sure that you don't give unrealistic financial projections.
Yeah.
That is very important.
Transparency.
Transparent.
Yes, you have to be transparent. And yes, we can have high aims, but it should go aligned with your idea.
Yeah.
Just you shouldn't be focusing on numbers. That's one thing. And you have to address the potential risk involved in the business.
Yeah.
You shouldn't ignore that, or leave it like that, and later on if they come and ask, or if they start asking questions, and if you don't have answers to it, it will not look nice. It's better you go and say, yes, these are the risks and we have these kind of mitigation plans.
Absolutely.
That is also important.
Yeah.
so the thing is, we are done with an initial pitch. For example, an entrepreneur is done with an initial. How he has to maintain the relationship with that investor after the initial pitch to secure and keep the support ongoing on his funding. So that becomes very important. Okay, so to be consistent in their business.
I think two
So
very important things to that. First is obviously the communication on a regular basis and keeping the transparency. Keep updating on everyday growth, a monthly growth, so that they are aware. And like she said, talking about the potential risk, these are very key, tools to keep, the initial pitch, and then obviously building the relationship. See, it's also like, you got into an arranged marriage, you're not in a love marriage. So if you're in an arranged marriage, you really need to nurture your marriage on a daily basis. This is what an entrepreneur and a investor has to do, on a very regular basis. Then you build a very homogeneous relationship and make it work for years to come. So it's a beautiful arranged marriage which will nurture, and you keep, nurturing it on absolutely daily basis. I think then we are all there. And I think the two things to avoid is desperation, and be very sure as to what you're getting into, because it also needs, it's like दो हाथ मिलेंगे और ताली बजेगी. तो दो हाथ मिलने के लिए, ताली बजाने के लिए दो हाथ मिलाने पड़ेंगे, and the two hands have to come together. They can't be going here and there. They have to come together to make that sound, to the sound to the world, and position yourself. I think that's very key to any investment and a pitch.
awesome, very,
Uh,
very excellently explained.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Actually, I would want to add something to this. Actually, this is the biggest challenge that we face, because building a project is not a daily thing, right? So when we pitch our project, we really have to wait for months to hear a yes or no, for whatever the reason is. So, but still, you do not, you have reached that particular point where you have got an opportunity to send the offer document. You would not want to miss it again. So for those 3-4 months, that communication, which Bhavna said, that communication and good communication has to be there. Say a general follow up, say you, at least you're not asking of the project or the offer document, but at least send, keep communicating about your achievement within that time which you have done, or some project completed, or something or the other about your work, so that they keep updated, and later probably after 3 or 4 months they get to their mind, okay, now we should go to this person for our project done. So you have to keep going about your achievements and stuff, because this is the major thing we fall we we pass on this daily. This is our
Yeah,
experience. This always happens. We have to wait for
consistency.
months.
Yeah,
Yes, we have to wait for
consistency.
months for any offer document to get signed and come back to us.
Yes,
So that patience, communication, and a good follow up is very important, so that you are not lost in the market.
True, true.
absolutely.
So,
To add to that, Padma, there's two situations here. One before securing the funding and after securing. Okay, before
yeah,
securing it, you should have individual engagement and ask for their advice. Um, and today we have this WhatsApp.
mm,
WhatsApp status is something that everyone looks into. Make
Yeah,
use of it. Put your
yeah,
achievements there. Put
Yes,
what is happening in your
yes,
business.
sure, sure.
So that
yeah.
there are two cases where, while not securing, maybe it got rejected, or you haven't gone to that phase yet.
Yeah,
So they'll get regular updates, so that you don't personally bother them. One. The second thing, even if they are not interested in investing, they'll definitely keep you in mind and refer to someone who's willing to
absolutely,
who's willing to
True,
invest
very true.
or to get clients. And after
Yes.
securing the fund, please be responsible, and accessible.
accessible.
Yes, actually.
That's very
This
absolutely.
important.
this thing, like there are a
Because
lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs, or who are just starting. They like, okay, let me call them back later. So that's not how it works, because they are like, they're going to invest in your business.
Yeah,
Be
Yes.
responsible enough
because
to
this
answer them.
yes.
That is important, and celebrate success together with
yeah,
them once, like, and make them get them involved in your key decision making. It's not
yeah,
that they decide it. You can just throw it to them. See, we are thinking of this. We would like to take your, since you're an industry expert, you can advise us, or how is it going? Are our decisions okay? You can just ask, even if you don't go by that, that's totally fine. You can have your own vision or strategic plan to execute. You can, if it doesn't resonate, you can explain it, that's different, but make them get involved in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Accessible and
Yeah.
responsible are very, very important. So, I'm just going to throw this question to all of you. You can just highlight one uh, definite thing that an entrepreneur has to follow. So, in what ways, at least highlight one of the important thing that entrepreneur can deliver a storytelling or communicate his pitch very effectively, so that the investors relationship and long term partnerships are safe and secure with them. What is that storytelling and effectiveness that they need to keep in mind? One highlighting point that you can summarize with.
Say from heart, do it from your heart. It'll connect. Do it with lot of heart and head in place. I think you are there, you know. And like I loved Rajanandani's word that only you know yourself and you know your business. So if you do it
Correct.
with that
Hmm.
precision, I don't see any reason for, not finding your right arranged marriage. I think it'll happen.
Awesome. Awesome. Rashmi?
Be confident and believe in yourself and your business. So that is how it works, and be passionate about that. I think that is how you can work with.
Wonderful. Uh, Rashmi Mandar?
And yeah, as Rajnandini said in the very first question, that while you are pitching it, it should be graphically well presented. So we are anyway storytellers when we put our designs. So our designs should be telling the story properly, that what client is looking for. So it should be graphically very good. And yes, confidence and passion has to be there, else your story, nobody's going to listen, nobody's going to listen to your story, and the people will start losing interest. The kind of effort you have put in, nobody's going to listen to you. So yes, it becomes very important, visually appealing, verbally appealing, and yeah, so that's important for at least our profession, what I believe in.
Awesome. Rajnandini?
Effective communication and individual engagement is key. It's like how you get aligned with them individually. It is that individual connection is important. You get only 5 minutes or 10 minutes to present it. That's not enough to connect personally or put in all your emotions. It will always be about the business.
Yeah.
Post that, you have to follow up, say hi, and you have to put in that effort. It's not that um, just like that I presented, if they like it, they'll invest. Nothing happens like that. You have to be persistent, whether it is getting an investor or a client.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter. You have to be
Yep.
persistent because it is we
Exactly.
who want it.
Awesome. Awesome.
So we have to like keep a regular check on them, say hi, how are you, like that. Whether you secure the fund or not, as I previously mentioned, that's different. The connection will give you clients, if not direct investment.
True.
Clients are a different kind of investment where it helps you grow and build traction.
Excellent. So, when just to summarize with this session, I think we should run a course or a paid session of sharing these experiences. Okay. So, the value that we discussed today is not that simple. We have told people how you have to work on your pitching to the investor, how you have to earn your credibility, how you have to emotionally connect with the work that you are being, and how passionately and confidently you have to deliver. What is the storytelling that you have to take to the forum, and whom you are connecting? Post connecting, how you have to work with them. These are the pointers we discussed, and it is not directly or easily people can get these ideas outside. So people wait for mentors whom they can go and get it. So that's the discussion we did, and very proud to have all these visionary women who has endless ideas and endless experience, and openly without any expectations, share it to the forum, and appreciate all of your time and effort and thought process that you have put into it, and delivered it in a right way to all of us. And it was a very useful session for all of us. And there were some commentaries that had come in, and you've answered it very beautifully. And thank you, ladies, for whatever time and space you have made it up for this session and gave your thought process here. Thanks a
Thank you
lot.
so much.
Thank you,
It was
Rashmi.
lovely
Thank you.
having us.
Ranjini, do you want to add something here?
Yeah, I think,
Rajanandini. Yeah.
yeah.
So this
Rajan.
is like I'm sorry. I want to tell this to all these startups or people who want to do it. Please, it is okay to spend on a CA or a legal person. Please get your papers right,
Yeah.
and especially if you're looking for funds, please invest in them. It is an investment, not an expense.
Yeah,
Because when you go to funds, that's very important.
True.
absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
numbers speaks, numbers supports us. So it is a very good investment. Okay. Thank you,
Thank you.
ladies.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you
awesome
so
Lovely
much.
discussion.
to meet all of you on this platform. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Yeah. Yeah, me
Thank you.
too. See you all. Bye.
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 Bye.